So after the installation of Anaconda, we should now be able to open the program, which is called Anaconda Navigator, and use it and start a Jupyter Notebook, for example, to start working with Python. Just a quick heads up, for all applications of the Python basics, which I will try to teach you, I will use Google Colab as source. So after showing you how to open a Jupyter Notebook and how to manage a Jupyter Notebook, the rest of the tutorials will be in Google Colab. But be sure that I tested everything with Jupyter Notebook. Everything works just fine, to be honest. There were no errors or anything we need to change, besides a small stuff where your working directory is, but that I will tell you in a different video. So you can easily use that and follow the last instructions and then follow the normal tutorials. So let's dive directly into it. And I've already opened, as you can see, Anaconda Navigator. And basically what you need to do here is you need to open, first of all, the Anaconda Navigator. And you can do this if you use this search bar down here and just type in Anaconda. And then you can usually already see the installed Anaconda Navigator. Click on it, and then it tries to open the application. I already opened it just because for the reason that it just takes quite a while to open the application. At my laptop, it takes over a minute, and it kind of gets frustrating because I think sometimes it doesn't work because there's an overlay in which actually exactly looks like this logo, and there's initializing standing in it. And once you hit a window, it gets in front of this overlay and you don't realize if it's still running or not. So just be aware that it will take a while, and after this while, this Anaconda Navigator pops up, which is this dashboard style. What we need to do here is now, first of all, we need to make sure that we're in the base root, which is the usual standard installation environment, which is always installed. And if we're in here, everything's fine. And then then we can start a program or install a program we want to use or an application. For me, I prefer Jupyter Notebooks. Some prefer Jupyter Lab, and even some prefer Spider. For standard data analysis, back in the time I used R, and everything can be installed from here or launched from here. I already installed Jupyter Notebook. I guess it's not installed standardly, so you first have to click install, then it will install it in the background, and after it's installed, you can hit launch, which I'm doing right now, and now it should open a new Jupyter Notebook application, which will run in our browser, in our standard browser. So for me, that's Chrome. So in a second, once exactly now, it should open up on a localhost application because it's running as client-server architecture, but it may be too much, and we're in Jupyter Notebooks. From here, we need to know a couple of things, because now we see a document folder-like structure just from a browser view. And we can upload stuff, or we can make new files. Like, for example, we could make a new notebook based on Python 3 in that way, or we can make a new text file, a new folder, or terminal. It could be that later on you need to make a new folder, which is called My Data, which I already have here. If you hit folder, it actually just opens a new untitled folder, and then if you click on it, you're in the folder. If you click that small folder icon, you're again on the top level. And when you click the check mark, now you have new options, like you could rename or move it or delete it. And if you click rename, you can now, for example, name it My Data, like I already did. And since I already did that, I cannot name it like that again. So I'm just calling it My Data 2, but you could call it My Data. And then I can go into My Data by clicking on it, and then I can upload not only Python scripts, but I can upload data as well. For example, the Excel files I provided for you for a later tutorial. And by marking them all and opening them. They will be all here in this dashboard, and by clicking upload, I can upload them one by one to, as you can see, there's the data uploaded to this folder, and then they're here available. What I can do as well is upload a Python script, which I'm not doing right now. For example, a template I offer for you, or I could just make a new Python Jupyter Notebook file, which I'm doing right now by clicking New, Notebook, Python 3. This is now opening, and then you can see the basic notebook functionality. And after we're done with that, you can start with the tutorials where we actually try to use Python. What we see here is we're in Jupyter Notebook. We didn't give a title our current notebook when it's the last time saved, that it's run in Python, exactly Python 3. As well as we can save our document here. We can add with a plus new lines of code. We can copy stuff and we can run stuff. So for example, what we see here is, I delete them again by, where's the deletion mark? The easiest way to delete is just to cut. Should be a trash can somewhere, but I don't see it. So you can just cut it and it's done as well. So what you see here is a line in a notebook where you can type in code. For example, you could type in 1 + 1. And then if you hit run, it will run this code, and you see the output. That's basically it. What you can do as well is you can say, I do not want to write code here, which can be executed. I do want to write text. This would be a markdown. And you could then write, here is only text. And if you hit run here, nothing happens. It's just text which is standing here. Once you run it, it's just text in the background. And then I can do 2 + 2, run that, and we see the output 4. Now there's another thing, I can move rows. In Notebook has the potential to say, okay, I want this as a header, then I want to calculate 2 + 2, and something else must be in between, like that I have here another markdown where I write another calculation. And what it gives us is basically a script which can be from top to bottom be executed step by step or all together if I run everything or want to restart a kernel and stuff like that. And this is basically the main functionality of Jupyter Notebooks. The more you don't need. If you want to add new data or upload a new file, you basically have to go back to the older tab used before where your data structure is, and here your script structure is. So you can have several notebooks open at the same time, and stuff like that. With that, you should be now able to follow the instructions of the tutorials, and I hope you have fun doing so. If there are any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Good luck.